regular season #1 seed in Kabum would be quite the upper bracket run for this squad, finishing in 4th, requiring the last day of the regular season to even get into that upper bracket. They were in a 3-way tie for the last couple of playoff places, but they have looked so good with the playoff buff that we mentioned, right? Our compatriot here, RMC, loves to talk about it. Of course, as we all know, RMC loves to put himself up there as a man of the people, a man of the caster minions, but deep down, we all know he's just a corporate pain shill at the end of the day. He's a corporate minion caster.
The corporate minion caster. All right, I'll remove myself from that discussion.
96% again.
Yep.
Dude, the playoff buff is real in the chat too. I mean, I know Pain is like the TSM here, so of course they're probably gonna have more fans than Kabum would have, but still a little shocking to have it that high.
The results kind of speak for themselves here, right? Because Pain has put in a dominant performance in the first 2 games, and quite honestly, I would vote Pain as well at this point. But of course, you can never count out Kabum, and I'd be excited to see a little bit of a comeback here. As mentioned, we gotta watch this top lane. We gotta watch the junglers first and foremost, and we finally get to see a new pick, this Nocturne. Of course, if we speak about the champion himself a little bit, for starters, it's definitely hard farming until level 6, no real early game ganks, and that is kind of something that we've seen from Wiz in the first 2 games already, but now he finally has a champion to back that style up, right?
Yep. Unlike last game, right, where you do have kind of the hard farming Graves, but he kind of relies on small skirmishes when he has item advantages. This is very much a playmaking champion at level 6. We all know how dangerous the turn off the lights are. The Paranoia is such a powerful ability in a skirmish, in a team fight, and it will need to be used to good effect so Weez can finally match the impact that Karaoke has had on this series. Again, that top side has really, really struggled in these first 2 games, which is why we have seen Pain jump out the lead. It's why we see so many people believing in them. And I'm kind of with you, Lethy, in the fact that Kabum just needs to show us they can step up. It feels like, particularly in game 2, the mental started to fray at multiple points in that game. They need to show us why they were the #1 seed. And regardless of the composition, right? I don't even care about the kind of intricacies of the composition, how they can team fight. They just need to play better. They need to be more together. They need to play better League of Legends if they want to stop this Pain onslaught.
Exactly. And the top lane is one of the parts where this might happen. Once again, Weiser putting on pressure onto Perang in the early game, even though it's more of an even matchup here for the moment. But both junglers on the top side of the map at the moment, Karaoke already taking out the Scuttle and now setting his eyes on the mid lane, while Trigo and Damage are looking for a little bit of a skirmish. Dinquedo gets chunked out fairly low, but House has to flash away from the gank, and this might be a good setup for a counter gank if Dinquedo doesn't get out there fast. All the charm lands. This might be Karaoke actually connecting on in. There's the flash forward. The Orb of Deception claims the first blood. But Wiz is here. The Nocturne is fighting. The Dustbringer hits the charm as well. Okay. No double kill. The turret shots. Dinquedo can follow this one up. The double buff will not be traded to the Ahri. It's a 1-for-1. First blood goes to Kabum.
It is absolutely critical that Weez does get that kill and follow up. You cannot allow that to go so in favor of Pain. It is massive because now you look at everybody, right? All 4 flashes down in the mid jungle duo. There's the last summoner spell as the TP comes out from Dinquedo. So you're all on even footing once again. And actually, it is gold advantageous for Kabum. And in particular, I do think the flashes being down on Dinquedo is a little more worrisome. Because if you do land a stun now for House and Weez is around as we approach level 6, it is problems. But here comes Karaoke.
Oh, there's Karaoke again. He has done this the whole series. And even in game 3, he will not change his ways because you never change a running system. So Pain is going to put the pedal to the metal as Damage goes in with another beautiful Zenith Blade to connect on this save and force the Flesh and clans from the Aphelios. Kabum is struggling again in the early.
Yeah, Karaoke, man, he's a madman, and you can see, I can understand why Kabum doesn't expect this, right? He comes right back to the mid jungle 2v2. You don't expect him to do that after the first play has been blown, because you're playing against a hard farming jungler. Because if you don't go back to your camps, you can see what happens. He's already 2.5 camps down against someone who can out clear him, but he just keeps going. It almost feels like solo queue a bit. I don't know if you've ever heard Cagel say this, but he says, find the inter, find the person who's going to tilt. It feels like Karaoke is just playing the solo queue style where he's going to continue to repeat gank lanes. He's going to continue to make people on Kabum feel miserable, even if it isn't the most gold efficient play. And boy, has it worked in this series.
Definitely does. Momentum is a huge thing, and Pain definitely has a lot of that in their backs at the moment. 2-0 up, and they're starting the early game in Game 3 with an absolute bang. You gotta look at CS though. Wiz on the Nocturne, the new pick. First time we've seen this champion in playoffs, and I think in CBLOL in general this season, and he's looking to make an impact. Already traded that kill back on the early trade-off, and now once again trying to collapse on in on Dinquedo. They forced the Spirit Rush over the wall, but Dinquedo trying to go back in because Karyok is there for backup. Can't quite connect those, so there's nothing that's gonna come of this. Actually, never mind. Weiser is in the wings. It's swept out, like no wards available for Kabum. They have no idea the cannon is here.
Yeah, but it's really hard for them to force on them. They're on the other side of the map. They really only have engaged with the Spirit Rush being down from Karaoke, so that play is just going to be a timer for Weiser. Nothing more. Kabum will escape that one, and they'll be fine. And critically now, Weez has heat level 6, so the Paranoia is online. Full playmaking potential for this mid-jungle duo is here for the rest of the game.
Yep. Playmaking potential out of the wazoo. You love to see it, at least if you're a Pain Gaming fan. On the other side, Kabum, of course, you gotta hit those power spikes now. You gotta hit level 6 on the Nocturne. You gotta hit level 6 on the rest of your lanes, and then you're gonna make...
He's here again.
Yeah. He's here again. You gotta start making an impact, but this is not the impact that Kabum is looking for. This is quite the opposite.
Nice.
Wind turns lightning, doesn't connect, but here is the Paranoia. They're going on in on Karaoke. They want to collapse in on the Xin. The fun, relenting assault lands in his face. The Syndra outplay button is just a little bit too strong. Beautiful movements there by House as well to get inside of the Crescent Guard range. No chance whatsoever for him. Good turnaround from Kabum.
Yeah, that is exactly as you said, Lethe. That is way more like it from House, right? He was a little bit asleep on the rise in game number 1. Game 2, he said, was better on the Victor. That was beautiful play on the Syndra. Dodges all the skill shots. Dodges, again, the return gank from Karaoke. And then they are decisive, using the first Paranoia to great effect. He gets in the range of the Crescent Guard and gets that kill to shut down Karaoke, who now will find himself quite far down in farm, will find himself quite far down in power. This is how you answer, right? The madman ganking that we've seen from Karaoke, the playmaking. If you shut him down a couple times, all of a sudden, he ain't so tanky, he ain't so strong. How's putting a stopper to it in this early game.
That's one of the main reasons, actually, why Xin kind of fell out of the meta during this season, right? He got a massive nerf to his ultimate, to his tankiness overall, so it's just a lot easier to shut him down, and I think that could be one of the big points for Kabum to capitalize on during this game, and they started this off the right way, I think.
Yeah, certainly have started off the right way. It's a very small gold lead for themselves, right? Just 300, but it's better than what we've had in the first 2 games where it has been gold deficits, even by this point, 9 minutes in. So a much better turnaround, a much better start. You can see that mid-jungle duo quite ahead in terms of CS, in terms of actual gold. That will turn into item leads and potentially stronger fighting around something like this Rift Herald that's already been alive for a minute and a half. Not something we see that often in a CBLOL game.
Exactly. It's a little bit of a unique way of play in this region, but that's why we love it so much. It's just fantastic games all over the place. And hey, if this keeps on going, we're getting a full series, and I'd love to see that. In the meantime, a little bit of a skirmish here in the top lane. Parang is chunked out quite harshly, but the Paranoia once again ready. The cannon still has the Slicing Maelstrom. Karaoke this time around is the one to counter gank, and they still have the cannon ult. No, never mind, it's on cooldown, but here comes Dinquedo. The collapse from Pain comes in as well. It's 2 kills for 1.
Yeah, but once again, Pain shows their team fighting muscles here. Weiser gets the better of Parang for seems like the, I don't know, 10th time this series. And oh boy, Skuro,
Oh.
he's only level 5.
Yep. Damage does connect, but not quite with the stuns, so Skuro gets to walk away from this. But still, it's a Herald over to Pain Gaming. I'm just a little bit confused. Where was the Slicing Maelstrom used? Was that used in the 1v1 before it all started out, or did I just miss it?
Well, we're about
Oh,
to find out.
there it
You see
is.
it's used, yeah, it's just used right away. It is just that
Oh, it's
red
the
one
Blood
with the
Moon skin that makes
darkness.
it invisible.
Yeah, really hard to see that one. You see Weiser does go down on the back end of the play, but his Maelstrom buys so much time and space for Karaoke away from the paranoia. And once again, Parang, I mean, it's just been a Weiser gap in this series. He doesn't get the Mega Gnar. Again, he just gets blown up. If he gets Mega Gnar, that fight looks different. He gets an ulti off, but it just doesn't happen. He goes down again, and it's been such a dominant performance so far from this Pain Gaming topside, once again earning them the Rift Herald and an early gold lead.
Exactly, and that gold lead is only going to snowball further with this Herald you just mentioned, because you can run it into the platings to get a bunch of gold. The big question, though, is where are you going to put it down? Where is the point that hurts Kabum the most? It's probably going to be part of the bot lane, as the save has to flash and cleanse out of that engage from damage. It's a really dangerous combo, this Leona Jinx lockdown.
Yep, second time I think the save has probably just mispositioned a little bit. Looked like he was trying to bait them into his roaming mid and jungle, but unfortunately he gets locked up, has to use his flash and cleanse again. We've seen that twice already this game. Hasn't punished him in terms of dying just yet. There's been enough time in between fights for him to stay alive, but it will be down for the potential dragon. You can see Pain Gaming hovering around it at the moment if they wanted. We are 12 minutes in. It's not like, again, dragon stacking going to be a really threatening thing, and Pain not even interested. They're just going to punish Tasabe. Or try.
Oh, well, they tried. Did damage fail a flash over the wall there? Well,
No,
never
he's got a flash. I think he's fine. He might have failed the Hex Flash, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Either way, it's a Herald in the bot lane. First one actually invested into Trigo. They've kind of just left him to his own devices in the first 2 games. Now the Jinx gets some attention, and quite honestly, like, you can't go wrong with giving gold to your Jinx.
Nope, can't go wrong to giving gold to Jinx. Can't go wrong with giving gold to Trigo. He has been a rock solid in that bottom lane for these first 2 games. Again, we haven't mentioned his name a lot because the game has largely been about the top side differences thus far in this series. But as you mentioned, this time around, he's going to get the early gold. He's going to be the early powerful member. We'll go back, likely finish his mythic item. Give some credit to Tasabe. Has farmed very, very well and shouldn't be that far behind despite losing his turret early on.
Oh, Damage is looking for the flank, though. That could be dangerous, but they don't pull the trigger on it. They're just happy shoving out this wave into the turret. 30 seconds left on the plating, so not looking to capitalize on any of the gold for the top side. But of course, you can see the rest of the Kabum squad collapsing in on this top side slowly but surely. Luckily, there's a pink ward. Just a normal ward. Well, Skuro's pink ward is now there, so I get to be right on what I say. It's a nice feeling, you know? But other than that, not really any plays happening here for the moment. Never mind. Parang, once again, gets just baited. This is game 1 all over again.
And I'm not sure why. I'd have to go back and see the replay here to see what the wave is looking like. He steps up to the wave, which makes me think that it's pushing out or frozen against him, which is the only reason he stepped up. But it looked like at the end of that play that the wave was fine, potentially because of the Slicing Maelstrom. Either way, it's a great timer for Damage and Weiser. They catch him out once again, greeting for minions, greeting for EXP. He gets taken down, and it is just still, it is a Weiser cap right now. I mean, the third matchup in this series, and this is one I said that, you know, it shouldn't be like a radioactive matchup like it was in game number 1 and 2, where it's just like atomic bombs being dropped on his head. Karaoke hasn't even done anything on the top side, and Parang is still just getting gapped by Weiser.
Yeah, just phenomenal play coming out from the Pain Gaming top laner so far. But of course, his team is doing their best to kind of capitalize to the highest extent here out of everything that he's winning in the top side. But for now, it's going to be actually Kabum at 15 minutes picking up the first Drake of the game. Well, there you go. The save in the mid lane. Oh, flash. Wind turns lightning, and it turns into a kill as well. The Moonlight Vigil invested there doesn't even change anything about it. Trigo in the top side is going to pick a second turret. So much gold funneled into the Jinx this time around. As soon as Pain Gaming doesn't play through their top laner anymore, it's back to bot lane, and it's working out so well still.
Yeah, I mean, Pain just everywhere. It's Karaoke again with the flash engaged. Desave is separated from his support. We saw that all of game number 1. Dinkedo caught him out time and again. This time around, Skuro, he's nowhere to be found. Desave is too far up. He gets punished again as they try to take the bottom lane turret in exchange for top. And it's just a gold loss. You give it up an extra kill. You give up plates in mid lane turret. You keep it alive, but I am a little kind of disappointed that Kabum has not played more around house. He was the highest gold member, 6-7 minutes ago in the game. He had played the early game really well, and they've just been moving him out to side lanes, picking up gold. Where have been the plays? Where has been the paranoia since the 10-minute mark for this squad? They have yet to once again match the proactivity that Karaoke and Pain have brought to the table.
It's hard to be proactive if you're multiple thousands of gold behind and you don't have any momentum on the map, right? Your options are limited. If you take fights, oftentimes you run into scenarios that are not necessarily winnable for you, and Pain, you gotta commend them. They don't show many weaknesses. They don't have too many moments where Kabum can clearly capitalize on that. One of those might just be House catching out in Quedo, but he does not get the kill. Barely, though.
Oh my god, so unlucky for House. And because Dinkedo has TP, you can't just go contest that Herald again.
Oh no, they knew he was there. Parang doesn't get a break. Man, get the poor guy some cookies or something. That's gotta feel bad. But Skuro can reconnect on Karaoke. The Crescent Guard is traded out, and now Pain is here to play. Wiser over the wall. The slicing Maelstrom finds them all as they pick up a double. The TP to the mid lane a little bit late from House, but it is not gonna change anything. Pain is gonna take this objective.
Yeah, it's just so reactive for Kabum and Pain. They are just blitzing him now. Wee's getting chased out of his jungle. Mid lane turret is down. The whole suite of outer turrets is gone with the taking of this Rift Herald. And again, you could just see the decisiveness from Pain. We'll see this replay, I'm sure, in a couple of seconds here. And just look at him. Just look at how decisive this play is. They know where Parang is. They take him down instantly. And then there's no hesitation. Desave and Skuro, they try to turn this one around, and as soon as it happens, the TP comes in from Dinkedo. They have to kite out, but look at everybody just flashing in. Everyone knows they're on the same page. They are all going forward, and they just blow Kabum out of the water. Again, a 4K gold lead here at 18 and a half minutes, and this series is looking like it is all and only Pain for Kabum.
And it's exactly what we talked about a few minutes ago, right? There are few moments and opportunities for Kabum to punish Pain. And in most cases, it's not even favorable fights. And even in that one, it was exactly that. Yes, Skuro finds it, can engage on Karaoke. Yes, Karaoke is a little bit out of position, but Kabum just does not have the follow-up. The save doesn't have a flash or anything to get over the wall. And now the next fight is on already. Wiz takes down the light bulb, but is gonna be gapped by the solar flare. Pain just gonna try to go on the chase. Skuro comes in late, but that Nautilus is not as dangerous as you might think, but here comes the save, the ADC to save them all. Can he do it? He gets the first kill now in the 1v1 with Trigo. He has the red gun for just a second, needs to swap over now, but the white gun always very dangerous. Lots of chakrams already assembled, and for now the chase, not necessarily one you want to take, but in Quedo, he does not give a damn. He follows up, he takes him down, and secures the ace for Pain.
And you can see it on the faces of the Kabum players. They know it's over. It's over. There's just no more hope for them left. They have been dominated in every facet of this series. Game 3, they switch it up. They go to red side. They try to team fight. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Pain go through bot lane. They give Trigo the gold, and still they dominate the top side. 5-1-7 is Wiser. 4-0-1 is Dinkedo. We'll see it here again. House Initially, he is the one aggressed upon. They use the paranoia, but look at them. They're just all paired up inside the Crescent Guard. So the paranoia essentially is doing nothing. And what could be a better sign of desperation than House here at the bottom of your screen using his ultimate on a Shield of Daybreak Leona and not even getting the kill?
Yep. Gotta find anything to trade back in these fights, but there is just nothing to say for Kabum in this moment. To say if he's trying his best, but 3v1, even as Aphelios in this situation, you can only do too much. And quite honestly, he did get pretty close to turning this fight around, but in the meantime, well, he looked good in the replay. In the off-cam play, probably not as much, as he gets ganked and taken down in the mid lane. That's going to net Pain a tier 2 in the middle. It's going to net them a tier 2 in the top lane, maybe. There's the Paranoia. Where is the Nocturne, though? There he is, coming in from downtown, from the base, but Din Quato is nowhere to be found, as he is not needed for Karaoke to win that fight. It's another kill for Pain. 2 turrets are on the menu as well. It's just utter domination.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, this is a 2-item Karaoke. He's 5-3-9. He already has Death Stance. Like, this man can just face roll his keyboard at will and kill your entire team. Nobody has the damage to cut through him. Desave has a little bit of armor pen, but that's not enough. There's no damage on Perong. There's no damage on Wheeze right now with the Stride Breaker. They've both gone for Hex Drinkers to deal with Visor and Dean Kato. They've got nothing. They can't stop Karaoke. They can't stop Weiser and Dinketo at this point, who already are finishing their second items. This is just all Pain at this point. 8k gold in the lead. All their tools are online. The Baron is up, and they're just waiting for one more pick, one more play to take that Purple Worm and end this series and end Kabum's misery.
That might just be it, indeed. Not even the Infernal Soul that is on the plate in this game is gonna be attempted. Both teams only on one Drake. Dinquedo finds Songs all by himself, but the Rocket seals the deal. Those Jinx rockets from Trigo all series long have been really on point, doing so much damage and securing kills, but Perang still looking for a fight. 2-man Gnar. This might actually be the turnaround, but it is actually the delivery system for Karaoke into the back line, onto the AD carry. They roll Kabum with a instant double, and even though Wiz trades back Trigo, he is gonna get collapsed on, he is gonna die, and that Baron is gonna go the way of Pain. Talk about a play of buffs. Man, this is just play of dominance from Pain.
And they're actually not going to go for the Baron just yet. They're going to play this one out safely. They're going to make sure there's no flip for it because we're 23 minutes in. The death timers are still so low, and House died a long time ago. At this point, House already gone. There's the flash engage from damage. Don't quite get the traps down to follow up, but you'll see it here, right? It looks like an overstep from Karaoke and damage, but it doesn't matter. I just mentioned it before. This is a 2-item Jin Zhao. Nobody can cut through him. Nobody can kill him. He just goes on the back line, and there's no damage. He heals through everything they can throw at him while they take down Trigo, but it doesn't matter that you took down the AD carry. There are stronger members of Pain all over the map. Dinkedo and Karaoke can do whatever they like, and again, you can just see on the player cams the hope, the life fading from the Kabum players' eyes. They have been absolutely disemboweled, completely picked apart today by Pain, and there is no answer for them.
It does seem a little bit hopeless. I do like the thought from Parang to initiate that fight there, because the save was right next to him. That Aphelios has 2 items. He can do a good chunk of damage, but as you mentioned, Karaoke is just so far ahead in this game. He has 2 items. He has that death stance. It's basically not fightable for anyone. The Baron gonna get taken by Pain without any contest from Kabum. And with this, well, they're trying to make a break for it. They're trying to take down that bot turret, trading a little bit of objectives back. And with objective bounties, a tier 2 is actually quite juicy to get.
Yeah, it's a good amount of gold, but it is still the Baron going over to Pain Gaming, and you have to do this kind of play when you're 10k gold down. You have to find gold anywhere. You have to find objective bounties. But again, this is the most uphill battle ever. How do you kill Karaoke here with even 4 members? It just doesn't matter. He is so unstoppable at this point. Even has some extra health. He's got some MR from his boots. Like, everyone on Pain is so powerful. Again, now with the Baron buff, they're just looking to clean up these waves. They need one more fight to open up the base and start to pick apart the final structures on this peach of a series that they have put on today.
I do like the map rotations and movements from Kabum here, though. The problem I have with it, it's like 10 minutes too late. They are so far behind now that even if they pull off these very well thought out rotations and aggressive pushes into the enemy jungle, it's still a situation where if you take a fight, you're most likely gonna lose because you're so far behind in terms of gold, and now you have to back out without really gaining anything. Pain is just gonna run down the mid lane and take your base. Never mind, Karaoke actually going in early. The Death Rocket comes in as well. The Solar Flare to follow up. They're just pushing Wiz out. He can't do anything about it. The inhibitor is gonna fall, and they're setting their eyes on the next one, on either bot or top lane.
A little surprised they go to Dragon here. Again, I don't think the Dragons matter that much in a 26-minute game when you only have one. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, instead they'll set a trap, see if they can get a pick along with the Drake. I'm a little more surprised they didn't head to the top wave, try to push that one in while they do still have this Baron buff, but it looks like they will just settle. Yeah, I was going to say we're toggling vision here. They will just settle for the second Drake. They'll head back to base with their prize. You can see the Baron power play as it runs out 45 seconds from now. About 2,000 gold to push them to 10k fully in the lead in this game. I'll head back to base, pick up their items, and get ready for the next one. Next Baron, of course, couple of 4-ish minutes away, so we might have some time for Kabum to think about things, you know, wonder how they got to this position, but that's about all they'll have for themselves.
Exactly. The last fight is in, boy. And Dinquedo finds a catch on Wiz. The spell shield not gonna save him, and now they can collapse on in on this turret. Still got to watch for House on the Syndra, but here goes the engage. Carrick in the front line. Dinquedo with the Syndra balls is going to be pushed back. Solar Flare goes down, and slowly but surely, Pain whittling away at the turret. Carrick goes deep as Trigo looks for the kills. There's the first reset. The Jinx pops off. He doesn't find a second. The save can't land the Moonlight Vigil, but it is not gonna matter. No one cares what happens in this fight because this series is over. Pain Gaming are going to the grand finals.
They certainly are, and in the most decisive fashion I have seen for some time. What an upper bracket run for your 4-seed Pain Gaming. The playoff buff is perfectly online. They looked so good today after a 3-2 series against Furia, the second seed. They embarrass, humiliate the number